All right, Shalom to the hopeful elect. Let me start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai Ba'asham, Rakah Quadash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, mercy to the hopeful elect that's laboring in truth and sincerity. It's the brother Hayat coming back at you through the spirit with the quick hit, pushing this word into you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the children of Israel, also known as the chosen people of the Heavenly Father, man. It's a lot going on, man. You see that the devil, which is the so-called white man, the devil meaning the deceiver, he's on the loose out here, man. And his plan, man, you can see how he has everything orchestrated. I'll say that, and the way he's going about it is very crafty. This is why he's known as that same spirit as the beast of the field, going to Genesis 3rd chapter, man. Very crafty and cunning, and the way he's devising this plan is man, it's a worldwide plan, and I want to show this video just for quick edification's sake and to see the way he's moving. This is, like it tells us in 2nd Ezra and 9th chapter, man, to measure the times. So this is how you measure the times. You see what's going on in the world, man, and these are things are, remember, Heavenly Father said, saving America for last, man. So you see what's going on. This will be a quick hit, man, just so if you can see the information on the screen, if you want to look it up. It's WION News. If you can subscribe to it on social media and just give you updates and stuff, man. But I want to show you what's going on, how just the same way he does with his banking, with his mortgages. He sets you up with a mortgage that you're not going to be able to pay to finish the payment on, and then he'll swoop in and take the property and resell or whatever he wants to do, and just continue to gain more and more income and things of that nature. Continue to gain riches. This is the way he gets down, man. He's never satisfied, man. Let the scriptures tell you that a thief may come and steal grapes off the tree or whatever, but he'll leave enough that that he'll just leave. He'll take what he needs, roughly paraphrasing. But the so-called white man, he'll take every damn thing, man. He won't leave anything. And this is what you're seeing. So let me point this out before I grab precepts.
Age of extreme fashion, heavy metal, break dancing, and mixtape. A strange and magical era which is still widely celebrated. But not in Latin America. They consider the 80s the lost decade. Why? Because they faced financial turmoil in the 80s, a debt typhoon which eroded their economies. What was the trigger? 2 large oil price shocks. Skyrocketing oil prices disrupted their finances, created big deficits and surpluses, took their foreign debt to unprecedented highs, and pushed their economies to the point of collapse. Mexico was the first country to fall. In 1982, it declared that it will not be able to pay its debt. What followed was a series of sovereign defaults in Latin America. One country after another was engulfed in the debt crisis. Brazil, Chile, Argentina, Colombia, Venezuela, Peru, Ecuador, all of them fell like dominoes. They faced deep recession, high inflation, mounting debt, unemployment, and slow economic growth. 3 decades on, is history about to repeat itself? Look around you. Developing countries the world over are struggling with a sovereign debt crisis. One of them has already succumbed, Sri Lanka. Its economy has collapsed, ballooning debt and shrinking foreign reserves. There isn't enough money to pay for basic necessities. Of course, this crisis is of Sri Lanka's own making. The Rajapaksas mismanaged the finances. They spent more than the national income. They allowed deep tax cuts and destroyed the economy. But the world did not help. Look at the global factors at play. The pandemic-induced...
Real quick, what's going out there in Sri Lanka, man? I seen an article recently, man, maybe yesterday or the day before. It's getting heavy with the citizens out there. They don't have things to eat. And basically, they're out there assaulting the police, which goes into the Apocrypha, man, 2nd Ezra, I think it's 15 or 16, where it tells you, man, that the course of the action should stand in the course of it's like the course of action should stand in the hand of the people. It's like it, meaning they're not going to regard their princes or kings. The people are going to have to go for what they know, man. They have to look out for themselves. So that's already taking place in Sri Lanka right now.
Down. The growing cost of borrowing and Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which has increased food and fuel prices, these factors compounded the Lankan crisis. And they still persist. The fear is that the Lankan crisis could mutate. Experts say Colombo is just the canary in the coal mine. More countries are set to fall. The entire developing world is at risk. Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay. On the 15th of February, exactly 9 days before Russia invaded Ukraine, the World Bank issued a warning. Developing nations face a looming debt crisis. The World Bank named 70 countries, 70 low and middle income countries facing debt repayments worth $11 billion. The report said this burden could crush their economies in 2022. 9 days later, Russia invaded Ukraine. The invasion disrupted supply chains, it threw financial markets into disarray, and triggered a global oil crisis. The economic forecasts became darker and starker. In March, the United Nations released this report. It said there were 107 economies that face at least one of the three risks. Number one, rising food prices. Number two, rising energy prices. And three, tougher financial conditions. 107 countries face these risks. Together, they represent 1.7 billion people. That's more than 1/5 of humanity. There are 69 countries that face all the three risks: food, energy, finance, all three. 69 countries could go the Sri Lanka way. 25 in Africa, 25 in the Asia Pacific, and 19 in Latin America. Which countries are these? We'll start with Egypt, the land of pharaohs. It is in the throes of a financial crisis. Egypt is the world's largest importer of wheat. Russia and Ukraine were its top suppliers. As they fight now, the supplies are running out. Last month, Egypt said that its wheat reserves will not last more than 3 months. Next, we have Tunisia, the birthplace of the Arab Spring. Its economy is overheating. Foreign debt accounts for 100% of its GDP. The trade deficit has widened to $800 million. Inflation stands at 7%. Fuel prices at record highs. Experts say Tunisia could soon face civil unrest. The same warning has been issued for Lebanon. The Switzerland of West Asia, well, not anymore. In 2020, the Beirut blasts destroyed Lebanon's largest grain stores. Food prices went up by 11 times. The Lebanese pound lost 90% of its value. Public debt grew to 360% of the GDP. The war in Ukraine complicated things further. Lebanon imported 80% of its wheat from Ukraine. Those supplies have fallen. There's a bread shortage. A scarcity of sunflower oil. Lebanon has been forced to take a $150 million loan from the World Bank to ensure food security. Then we have Argentina, the land of tango, also caught on the wrong foot now.
All right, this will be just a quick hit, man. So letting you know, man, the World Bank, man, is issuing a warning. You said you see the last loan that was just taken out. Let me see that price again. Hold on.
Inflation is paralyzing its economy. External debt is mounting. Argentina has defaulted on debt repayments 9 times. To avoid a 10th default, 60% of the GDP. The war in Ukraine complicated things further. Lebanon imported 80% of its wheat from Ukraine. Those supplies have fallen. There's a bread shortage. A scarcity of sunflower oil. Lebanon has been forced to take a $150 million loan from the World Bank.
Right, $150 million loan. And it says there were 70 other countries that are in debt to the World Bank. And basically they said what happened with China when they were loaning people money and they defaulted on paying back the funds. China said, okay, I'm going to step in and I'm going to get to dictate what goes on in your country. You know, that's what happened when you're at the short end of the stick, man. You know, you put the ball in the court of the World Banks, which is ultimately the so-called white man. You know, so the same thing's going on in the world, man, with all these countries. You know, they're going to be doing bad and more bad. So they're going to reach out to the World Bank for loans that they're not going to be able to pay back, right? And that's how this Esau Edom is going to capitalize, man, you know, which that's the one that exalts himself above everything that's called God. Going into the second Thessalonians, the second chapter. All right, it's Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. This is why he's not keeping at home. He's busy trying to get that new world order, man. It's a world order. Who enlarges his desire as hell, he's going to put hell on everybody, man. And it is as his death. That's what he's going to bring, you know. He's going to kill people with this. He's going to cause famines and cannot be satisfied, right? This is who we're dealing with. This is the devil that must be chased out of the earth, but gather unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. This is how he gather and heapeth to him all people, man, through his policies, going to Daniel 8:25, but also through his banks, man. You know, that money, that he using that money as a tool, bro. In 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day should not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So this is the son of destruction. He's going to cause destruction upon levels, man. You know, there's another article I want to bring out, man, but just a quick hit. I'll bring it out in my next video, man. But you got people getting persecuted here in America for stepping up, speaking out against the LGBTQ, and they're getting took into jail, man. And the judge saying, okay, I'll drop the charges if you take away your stance via the Bible. You see, so this is that man of destruction, man, being revealed. He's nothing good can come from him. You know, he's not a God-fearing man. All right, I'm gonna leave it at that just for right now. We'll resume. All right, Lord willing, I'm able to continue to push. Shalom.